welcome. It looks like we already got some people joining in. I'll give it a little bit of time just to see if there's anyone else joining us. I think we've got about 1 minute until we get started. We're going to be doing a few different little drawings today. All you need is pen, marker, pencil, whatever you have will work. They're just kind of simple little drawings, but I think they're really nice, and you can kind of customize them and you can make them a little bit fancier if you want, whatever you want to do. If you don't have paper, that's fine. You can use cardboard, whatever you got. I even did some examples up on a piece of paper towel because that's what I happened to have at the time. So, I mean, you can do this project no matter what you have. Why don't I show you some of the little ones that we're going to be working on today. So we've got a few different ones. Bring it a little bit closer. So we're going to be doing a little lighthouse. This one's a little bit too light to see. I did a version of it here. So try not too hard when you're doing drawings to make it look exactly like the picture. You have to find what works for you and give it your own creative spin. So mine's not exactly like the picture, but so here's one that I was doing. So we're gonna be working on a little lighthouse today. This is a cute little camping scene just done with simple lines. So we're gonna do that one as well. I've got another little camping scene just right beside it there, but it's got a little river in it. We have just a simple mountainscape, a little boat, and this one's kind of neat. It's going to be done in a circle, and it is a night scene. And then depending on time, we might do a few other little ones because they're all kind of like little doodle things. They don't take too much time. So I'm going to try, I'm not very good at drawing on an easel, but we're going to try doing it on the easel. Just because I think it'll be easier for you to see. And I'm going to be using marker today. Again, just because then it's a little bit easier to see. So these are the ones from the internet that I used kind of as a guideline. And these are some of the ones that I just did up quickly before we went live. So as you can see, they're not the exact same as what you saw there. It's kind of my interpretation of them. So that's what we're going to be working on. So I hope everyone has some kind of writing utensil and paper of some kind. And we will start. So we can start with the lighthouse if you want. So I'm just going to grab my paper here and get set up so you can see me here. All right. So for the lighthouse, you kind of want the bottom to be a little bit wider than the top. And I find the easiest thing to do is actually go from the top down and as you're coming down. You don't have to do this little house here. I just thought that was a cute little addition when I was doing mine. And you can do it really small or really big. I'm gonna do mine a little bit bigger just so you guys can see. So we're gonna start here, coming down on both sides. And that's just our basic kind of lighthouse shape there. Nothing too fancy. Come straight across at the top and do almost like a little top, like a little hat right there. And then we're gonna come up in a rectangle. This is gonna be our little fence here. You're just gonna put some little lines just like that. We're gonna come up, and you want this to be slightly smaller than what this was here. And just go across, and for this we're gonna do a little basket weave type effect there. So you do your lines across, and then down. So you get like the little checkered pattern there. I'll try to move my hand out of the way so you can see. The very top is kind of our lid to our lighthouse there. So you're kind of doing like a half circle and just like a little circle on top, like a little lid. So in the original picture, they have the windows on the side. I like to have mine in the middle, so you can do whichever you prefer. It really depends on what you like the look of. So I'm just gonna do some little windows. So for the windows, it's just like a U, upside down, just like that. And you can go across. And you can either leave your windows like that, just open in the middle, or you can fill them in if you want, depending on what you like. So this is if they're not filled in, and this was what they looked like when I filled them in. So it really depends on the look you're going for. After you do your window, you're gonna do a line, but instead of straight across, you're just going to kind of just do a very slight bend, and that just kind of gives some shape to your lighthouse a little bit. And we're gonna come down, we're gonna just do another little window, and another line. Till we get to the bottom. And I'm gonna leave mine open this time. If you wanna do the little house, it's just off to the side. There's a little bit of perspective there, but I can show you how to do that. See if I can get mine a little bit nicer this time. So we're gonna come straight off of the lighthouse, and you do a triangle at the end, coming straight across, another straight line. You're gonna bring the line right at this triangle all the way down to the bottom. And with this one, you don't go all the way to the bottom, you go just before, so you can get that little bit of perspective there. And I'm gonna put a big door here. So there's our little house. If you wanna do some little shingles, you don't have to draw out each little shingle, you know, because this isn't like a super hyper realistic. It's more just kind of the idea of shingles. So you can draw just like some little lines in different areas just across the roof if you'd like. Just to give kind of the illusion of shingles there. And you can either leave this flat, or again, maybe this is shingles or siding there. So just kind of the illusion, not too many lines, or it'll end up looking like you won't be able to see it as well. For the ground going across here, you don't want it to be a straight line. It's gonna be kind of bumpy because it's supposed to be like this lighthouse is sitting on like a rocky area. So you can just kind of go across and do not super wavy, but just some movement in your lines here. I messed up my house a little bit. I want to actually bring that all the way down here, so I'll just fix that in by bringing the roof down. And the other line, the line that's going to be, see my picture's kind of going on an angle. I think that's because I'm drawing on an angle, but that's okay. It's got some more character. So you're gonna do a line that shows where the horizon is in the water, and that's just gonna try to be a nice straight line. Ooh, my line was not straight. That's okay, so just across like that. Then we can do some nice little grass. So for grass, you're just kind of doing little lines, just here and there. They don't have to go all the way across, just to give that kind of illusion. I'll have to get better at drawing off on an angle. And the other little thing you can do is you just add, especially if you're using marker or certain types of pen, you can just add some little dots. And that just kind of looks like there's maybe some flowers or different types of plants in there. And then if you want, you can do a sun, you can do some clouds. I'm just gonna do a few birds in this one. That might look a little cute. You can also add some waves in the background if you want. I wouldn't do too many, but whatever you'd like. So that's our basic little lighthouse. Again, you could have done this on anything you want. It can be a nice cute little drawing or nice and big, whatever you'd like, but that's our little lighthouse. All right, how about we do this cute little camping one? So we need a fresh piece of paper. here's my version on a piece of paper towel there. So you see you can make them quite small and little, but you don't need to have fancy paper. It's just for fun, something to do. All right, so let's start with our tree. So we can draw our line across. That's going to be just the bottom of our picture, and just one line nice and tall depending on how big you want your tree, just like that. That's our tree. So this is going to be an evergreen tree. So you can come across and you're almost doing just like downward lines, just like this. So they're not coming straight, they're kind of coming out on an angle. And then you go over them again, making them a little bit thicker. Depends how stylized you want your picture. So if you want it to just be kind of like the idea of a tree, you can kind of just leave it like this. You can add more if you want. That's our basic little tree. Just gonna make the top come up a little bit more on mine here. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a little tree. I'm gonna add two little lines here. That's in the original picture. I think they're meant to be like little twigs. Great. Now for our little tent. So let's put our little tent over here. So you're gonna start with a triangle with just kind of a little cross at the top. So you're crossing the lines. I can bring that a little closer to you. And then it's hard with marker, but if you can, you want a lighter line right there. That's kind of the opening of the tent. That's how you would get into your tent. And right where the cross is, we're gonna come across and back down. There's kind of our little tent. I'm just gonna fix up my tent here. It's a little hard on this angle here to see what I'm doing. All right, now the way they did the little campfire is they actually drew, I'll draw a big one up here. They drew 3 circles, just like that. This is how they did theirs. And then they did a U with some little fire lines. And that's basically their campfire made big. Theirs is probably a little bit different, but if we look at the, do I have the original up? It's just behind here. It's kind of hard to see because the original is tiny, but I'll show you the original again. So there's the one that we're working off of. So you can kind of see there's 3 little, actually they have 4 little circles there, and then the little campfire. So we're gonna put our little circles in. Just gonna do like that. And we've got our little campfire coming out. And then you can just do some little lines to show that the steam's coming off of the fire. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just cute little drawings. They also have a moon, because this is at night. So we do our moon. And then the other thing you can do if you want to do stars, so you don't actually have to draw little stars, you can just dot your page, or if you're using a pen, you just draw the little dots in. And that just gives the impression of some stars. Like that. So again, just another quick little drawing. Let's do the mountain next. So we're gonna be working on this one here. And again, you kind of use your creativity and kind of how you want to see it. This is the original here that we're working from. There we go, just right there. So for this one, we're just gonna draw a big triangle, basically. Just like that. And then kind of just over off on the side here, you're gonna do one mountain coming down, and on this one, another mountain coming down. So they kind of intersect there. Then we have our mountain peak. So for our mountain peak, just drawing, so they're supposed to be like this is the snow on top of the mountain. And then you just want to follow the curves of the mountain. So what they've done is they've done a bunch of kind of broken up lines, but you could also just follow the line down. Depends on what style you want. Again, it's your drawing, it's your mountain, so you can do however you'd like. And then the same for here. They've kind of broken up the lines, but you can follow if you'd like all the way. So mine kind of have some humps just because I'm struggling with the angle here a bit, but you know, you can draw them straight as well. Just like that. And then this one has a little tree as well. So we just do a line, and you can kind of just do lines coming off the tree. So, not super happy with my tree, but that's all right. In the end, it looks like a tree. I can tell it's a tree. So, I'm okay with it. There we go. You can draw some little clouds, whatever you'd like. So that's our little mountain. So every time you make it, it looks a little different. So there was my last one and my current one. So they look a little different each time. That's okay. All right, the next one we're gonna do is another night one, which is kind of fun because this one's done in a circle. So you can just draw a circle if you want, or if you have something round, you can trace your circle out before you start. So I'm just gonna put this here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm just putting my round bowl here down on the paper. And I'm gonna go all the way around. So I have my circle. And I'm gonna draw inside the circle. So that's the original one that we're working from here. So it's kind of a moon with the stars all coming up around it. So this one takes a little bit of time if you're using a pen because it's harder to get all the little dots in there. What we're gonna start is with just a straight line across. If you have something you can use as a ruler, that might be nice, but if not, doesn't matter. I'm gonna use a bit of a ruler here just to get the line nice and straight. My circle's a bit big, so it might be hard to go straight across. Just gonna have to put it down, I think. So I don't know if you guys are interested in art. There's these really great virtual paint nights that they've been doing, which are a lot of fun. I've done a couple now. So you do need paint to do them and a canvas of some kind. But if you happen to have that stuff, it's really neat. And they're professional artists. I'm definitely not a professional artist, but I do like to draw for fun. So I thought I would do an art class today. But the paint virtual ones are really great. And they have professional artists from around Durham and other areas putting them on. They usually do them in restaurants. So because they're not doing them in restaurants right now where you can go with friends and do them, they do them over the internet, and you can do like watch parties and have your friends all working on the same painting, and it's still a lot of fun. Okay, so for this one, we're basically doing a bridge or a dock that we start right at this line in the middle. So you're going to start here and come down on an angle, and then you come back to the top and again on an angle, just like that. So that is our dock. From here, right at the edge here, you're going to draw a line up, and the same on the other side. And you're going to come back to the beginning of your drawing here, just right here, and connect that line. That's going to be your guardrail. Of your dock. It's almost like a pier. So if you've ever gone to like a Canada Day celebration, this would be your pier. And then you're going to do your lines across for the boards. Just like that. And then for this one, they have lines kind of for the water. They're not straight across, they're kind of, you want them to be different every line. These are supposed to kind of symbolize your waves. You can see it kind of looks like water there. Then, kind of just beside here, you're going to draw a big moon. So it's a big moon over the water, just like that. I'm actually really liking the way this one's turning out. Now we want to do all of our stars. So you'll notice they've kind of not gone right up to the moon. It kind of starts just a little bit after the moon, and then you start your stars. And they have a lot of stars. So I won't do that many right now, but you're just gonna dot on your stars. If you're using a pen, you're more drawing on your stars, but if you have a marker, you can kind of dot them. But for those of you using pens, is there anyone following along, or like as I'm doing these, or is everyone just kind of watching right now? Just doing some dots. And the more you do, I think the neater it'll look, because it'll just look like a sky full of stars. I'm really liking the way this one's turning out. I think having the circle just kind of defines it more, so. Oh, we do have some people following. That's great. And what are you using? Are you using pens or markers, or what mediums did you guys find? So I'm gonna just keep doing these little stars. So I can go in and add more later. But I also, if you guys are following along, I'll give you time to make your little stars, especially if you're drawing with a pen or a pencil crayon. It takes a little longer, but you can always come back in and add more and more stars. But you see how there's like the little gap where there's no stars right here? That's supposed to kind of look like the glowing moon. So the moon is so bright that you can't see the stars that are in that area. So I think that turned out really nice. I like that one. Yeah, so with a pencil, you can still just kind of pound down on the paper, like kind of like going like this with the pencil, and it will show up that way as well, or you can draw each tiny little circle too. So all right, so we're gonna do see what time we've got. We've got lots of time. We can keep going if you guys are still interested in doing some other drawings. We can try this little boat. I had a little bit of difficulty with the boat, but let's try it together. My boat kind of didn't turn out great, but that means I can learn from what I did last time. I still think it looks cute though. It still looks like a boat. So let's try the boat together. So for the bottom of the boat where the water is, it's just nice squiggly lines that we're going to be drawing. So lots of little squiggles. There's my squiggles. Then we want to draw the main part of our boat, which is basically like drawing a bowl, kind of squished bowl. And you want to actually color it in. That's the bottom of our boat. My boat's floating a little bit. So what I can do is I can actually just add another line of waves. Now my boat's not floating. And I'm gonna draw a big line from kind of around the middle area here, straight up. And you wanna do kind of a triangular shape just right beside that. So we're gonna follow that same line down, and then don't connect it, but come across. So we're almost like an L, and all the way down. Yeah, I think this one's turning out a little bit better than my example there. For the flag, you want to just do like some more squiggly lines to make kind of a flag that's flapping in the wind. And then you're also going to color in your sail. So a lot of these drawings that we're doing today are kind of on the abstract side. It's the idea of a boat. Obviously a real boat would not have the sail floating off on its own there. But if you wanted, you could attach it as well. And we could put a line there kind of attaching it. But these are kind of more of an abstract kind of feeling. So then they have the wind just beside. So the wind is kind of like just these curly little lines kind of coming in towards the boat. So we can kind of start with the curly part and then just come across. And you can do a few. That's just supposed to be like the wind. And you can do some little birdies. So for the birdies, they're kind of like an M. They're just like that. So you just kind of have one line, two lines, and you do them small to match your drawing, and they kind of look like birds. And then we can do a cloud. So again, this one's more abstract, so even their cloud is kind of got like this flat edge to it. It's kind of more cartoony almost. So again, that's the original and that's mine. Not quite the same, but I think it turned out all right. I think my favorite is still that one with the moon though. All right, we're gonna do one last one. This one's my favorite because I really like drawing trees. This is my example that I did on the paper towel, so if you can see it there. It's a tree with a swing off of it. And for this one, this is another circular one. So I'm just gonna take my same bowl. Again, you can freehand it as well, but I'm gonna use my bowl to draw that circle. So I'm just gonna take this down. I hope you guys can see okay. I did the dark blue ink, so I thought it'd be a little easier to see on the screen. So here is my big circle. So for this one, we're gonna draw a big tree kind of off on the side with the branches hanging over. And then you wanna do a branch to hang your swing off of. So you can start with the trunk of your tree, which is going to be a bit wider. And we can just kind of outline it before we fill it in. So before you bring this one all the way up, you can kind of come across. That's going to be our big branch for the swing to hang off of. I'm going to come all the way up, and you're just going to have these kind of branches coming off. So once we start filling it in, you'll kind of see a little bit more how it's going to come together, because we're going to be putting in all these leaves and things off of this as well. This is all going to be filled in, so we're just going to do some branches. And then for the branches right at the edge, you can just do one line. They don't really have to be thick. You just want a few thick branches, and then the rest can be kind of these thinner branches coming off. And this is going to look really nice when we start coloring in the tree a bit more. And you'll see how it kind of comes together. You know, I might want to do another one here. Alright, so I'm going to fill in this tree real quick. And again, this might be easier or harder depending on what you're working with if you're trying to keep up. But you can also be doing it a lot smaller. I'm just doing really big versions so that you can see. So you don't have to completely fill it in. The picture that this comes from was completely filled in, so I am filling my tree all the way in. Just do another little branch coming off here. I'm just going to make some of these branches a little thicker. So it's your tree, and the nice thing about trees is branches can go just any which way. You don't have to try to follow where I'm putting my branches. Just kind of have your branches coming out wherever you want. All right, I'm gonna stop playing with my tree. I think that's pretty good. So now that we have our basic tree, we can start adding our leaves. And very similar to the stars, they don't have to be like leaf shape, or they're just kind of the idea of a leaf. So you're kind of just doing the same thing, but maybe a little bigger. You're kind of just doing dots and clumps, kind of near the tips of those branches that we did. So very similar to the leaves, or to the stars, sorry, that we were doing, but you want them You want some bigger ones in there as well as the little guys. If you're using a pencil, you can do the little ones just by tapping, and then then you want to do some bigger ones just by kind of coloring them in a bit. And then as you're going, you might see, oh, you know, I want another little branch there. Color those in. So we're just kind of tapping in our leaves right now. So I really like this one. This is the kind of stuff I like to do, is trees, because you don't have to be so precise. It's a tree. Trees look different. Every time we do a tree, every time we see a tree, it's not the same tree. The branches come out differently. They look wild and crazy sometimes. So you don't have to be precise when you're making trees. And then with the leaves, you know, if you're looking at a tree, especially from far away, you can't see the definition of a leaf. So just doing these little dots, you can see how it's starting to fill in and look like a leafy full tree. And again, some of them can be bigger. You can also do this with painting. So trees like this are really nice with paint. And you can actually use the tip of your paintbrush and you just dip it in a bit of paint and you can kind of tap on the paint for your leaves. So I'm just still tapping in all my little leaves. This area looks a little empty and I add a few branches here. The nice thing if you have a pencil is in between, you can do some really nice little tiny branches. It's a little bit harder with marker, but you can see I'm just kind of doing some little like V's that kind of just gives the impression of some little branches. So if you are using a pencil, that's a nice way to add some depth to it too. But I really like drawing in the circle for some reason. I think it just adds like a little character to the picture. Excellent, so I'm gonna stop there because I am happy with that. I might add a few more later on, but I think that looks pretty good. So now we want to do our grass. So for our grass, we can just kind of do some lines at the bottom here. It doesn't have to be straight. I'm just gonna do mine just like that, and I'm actually gonna fill that all the way in. I'm trying not to go over my circle there. Then we can do kind of some little grasses. You see in my little paper towel drawing there, I've just got some grass coming up. So for the grass, again, you don't do grass all the way across. I mean, you definitely can do that if that's what you want to do. But I just kind of find a few little spots, especially like right near the tree here, of where I want to put some just little tufts of grass. Good, and just like when we were doing our lighthouse, you can add just a few dots in with the grass, just to kind of make it look like maybe there's some little flowers in there. You can do a few just down below here. Good, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna leave mine just like that, I think. And now I'm just gonna do my swing. So for the swing, I'm gonna go off this nice big branch here. And just 2 lines down. And there's my little swing. And if you want, you can add some little dimension in the back too. You're just kind of looking like the grass, or maybe there's a lake in behind. Just like that. So there's our tree. So there we go. We did quite a few little drawings there. I think my two favorite are definitely the circles. What did you guys like? What did you have the most fun with? I think I'm really happy with mine though. I think that turned out really nice. So give it a try. If you've been following along, I would love to see in the comments if you guys post your pictures to see how they turned out. You can always rewatch this if you want to try them again, and let me know what you thought, and maybe we can do it again. So yeah, I enjoyed teaching you guys, and hopefully we can find another project. I will be posting another poll that has some different items to see what you have. There's a lot of like cool little projects that people are doing with toilet paper rolls, I guess because everyone has a lot of toilet paper rolls lying around now. So save your toilet paper rolls, and maybe we'll do something cool with those. So you guys have a great night, and we will see you again. Take care. Bye.